evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that takes to the airways with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater. It spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR, the 147.08 repeater, for our voice transmissions for our video nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So I'll pause momentarily in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before the net gets fully underway.
WU7N.
And again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. Want to find out more about Western Washington Amateur Television Society? Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage. There you'll find the frequencies we operate and also a link for streaming on YouTube that we hold on our nets in the evening. So with that, let's see who's checked in here by video. So far I've got Ron, KD7QKU, Jessica, KF7UHK, Richard, K7ITX, Jim, N7QO, James, WU7N, and myself, Dave, KD7CYM, and I see Wade has just checked in, W7ITL. Is there anybody else that would like to check in? And with that, we can get the net underway. Let's start off with Ron, KD7QKU.
All right, okay. Well, thank you very much, Dave. KD7ZYM in the group. This is KD7QKU over here in Tacoma. And I've been enjoying the pictures of Jessica's yurt. She stayed in a yurt. It looked really nice. Boy, I don't have too much to report on. I have had a nasty cold. I got it, I think, last Wednesday. It's been a week now. Saturday I was miserable. Cold. Stayed in the recliner all day and put the blanket over. I think Saturday night I left the net right early. And then I thought yesterday I was getting better. And then I got up this morning and I almost had a sore throat again and I felt terrible. But right now I feel pretty good, so maybe I'm going to recover after all. I did take a COVID test. I did it that Saturday. I didn't have it. And I think maybe Tuesday I did it again and I didn't have it. So I guess I just had a cold. So anyway, I forgot how bad a nasty old cold was, even at Christmas. For 3 days I just felt terrible. So anyway, back to net for now, KD7QKU.
QKU. Let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK.
Even a cold, that'll lay me out underneath covers, and I'll eat really big because that helps kind of feed a cold, starve a fever kind of thing. But yeah, get some hot chocolate to kind of work on the sore throat is what I would probably do. I might even throw some honey in there, or a little bit of alcohol, maybe just to kind of top it off. Something, maybe a little bit of my favorite today is amaretto, but I also like butterscotch schnapps or something similar to it. There's different brands that do that, and it's very sweet though. So it's like candy. People who really drink would not like what I drink. I drink like candy. So yeah, no, we had a really great time in that yurt up South Monroe. We had to go up a 2-mile dirt road and this other squirrely road up to that dirt road. It felt like it was pretty high altitude. It felt like somewhere if it snowed out or if it's icy, it'd be a dangerous route to get to this place. But it was really sweet. It rained, and you could hear the rain hit the roof of it all night long, and just kind of lulled you to sleep. So with that, I'm probably done with my 3 minutes. KF7, you guys kick.
UHK, Jessica, thanks for that. And let's go to Lee in Port Angeles, N7KC.
Well, let's see if things are working tonight. Yeah, N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Thank you, Dave. Well, good to see you guys tonight. I don't know if somebody is not on Zoom or not. I've been here for a few minutes, so anyway, good to see you, James, Richard, Jessica, Ron, Dave, and Wade. Anyway, not much going on over here. I'm getting a lot of yard work done right now. This week has not been too bad for working in the yard, and I've been mowing and raking and weed eating, and I went and got a pair of electric yard clippers made by Ryobi. They were over $100, but they're really, really nice. They work very well. I really wanted the Makita, but the clippers were like $150, and it didn't come with a battery or charger, and that was another $150. $300 for a pair of yard shears, right? Well, of course, I just wouldn't, almost foolish enough to do it, but not quite. And the guy in Home Depot, he says, hey, this is pretty, I says, I want that Makita. Oh, yeah, okay. He says, hey, he says, that's pretty expensive. It doesn't come with a battery or a charger. I says, what? How much is that? Well, that was $150 or $60. So I says, that's $300. He says, I know. He says, you better go back and look for something. So the Ryobi was less than half that, and it also comes with one of those bar trimmer things too. In other words, it's a power thing for 2 tools. So you got the shears, and then you've got the other thing. What do you call it, for trimming up hedges, I think, like that. Anyway, it's nice, and battery and charger and that, and it all came together, and it was I don't know, well, by the time the tax was all done and everything, it might have been $100 and a half. But my hands just won't take using those mechanical clippers anymore. I just can't seem to do it. And I don't want to damage a finger or something like that, or a joint. So I just went, whoops, I'm out of time. Uh-oh. Anyway, so I just sprung for it, and I'll have to say it's quite nice. So N7KC, Lee here, back to you, Dave.
KC, let's go to Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
Well, let's see, we'll start off with, first of all, can you guys hear me okay? Oh, okay, got the fist pump, good deal. Alright, so yeah, well, it might be slow for some of you guys, but boy, been a jam-packed week for me. God, where do I start? Let's see, yesterday, we got Mom moved into the memory care in Tacoma at Tacoma Lutheran's Alicio home, and I wasn't there for her. I was there to pay the arm and the leg they require for admittance. So if I look like I don't have everything on me, it's you can check with Alicio. So I got them off and running, and then I took right off. I had a doctor's appointment, but evidently my brother and sister got her in there and went without a hitch. I guess she
duck takes to water. So that was really good news. Let's see. My good news with the pulmonologist is she thinks I'm going to make it into my 80s, and she's going to help me get there. So I was pretty happy to hear that. So, but there'll be the trials and tribulations between here and there. So as we all know, as we get older. So anyway, let's see. And then last but not least. My sister called me this afternoon with a memory care report. She visited my mom the very next day. My sister's a retired licensed practical nurse, and she worked in assisted living in Seward, Alaska. So when you're in a small town like that, you get all the cases, all the memory care and all that. So my sister's actually a pretty good pro. So she's hanging out until Sunday. She lives in Winthrop, Washington. So I'm happy that she's but boy, it doesn't sound like they need my sister even her. She says that she really likes this place, that she really evidently made the right decision. But her report was that when she got there, the staff told my sister that Mom had been singing karaoke this morning. So if that isn't the most bizarre thing that I ever heard of, if you knew my mom, and I mean that's just hard to believe. So it sounds like she might be actually having fun. So with that, KD7ZYM, K7ITX, back to net control.
ITX, thanks for that. And time to get an ID, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Is there anybody else that would like to join our net this evening? Hearing none, let's go to Tacoma to Wade, W7ATS.
Well, good evening, everybody. First off, Ron, I'm sorry to hear that you're not feeling good. I'm wishing the best for you, and that you get over your cold here soon. I had to step away for a little bit, so I didn't hear everybody's report. But Richard, it sounds like your mother-in-law, or no, your mom, is doing well at her new living facility, and that's good. It's good to know that that's a good place. So, yeah, today's been nice. I got a full day of working and got a bunch of chores done. Let me break for just a second. This morning I did all the dishes, and then I took my dog for a walk, and then when I got done with work today, I installed 5 new power outlets in our living room. I've been trying to replace all of them in the house. I bought enough to replace all the outlets and all the switches in the house with the new modern ones. I got the decorative ones, the square, not the round ones. So with that said, this is W7ITL, back to net.
ITL, let's see if Jim's with us in Covington, N7QO.
7QO, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, better than usual pictures on the 1.2 gigahertz tonight. I'm not transmitting video, and my wife has my computer here. Yeah, Ron, sorry about your cold. I don't know, good luck with that. I have been kind of like a hermit for about more than 2 years now. So luckily I haven't really been sick in about 3 years now because I've been in hiding. I'll bet I'm not looking forward to my next cold, let me put it that way. Jessica, yeah, yours sounds interesting. I didn't know it was quite that remote. Maybe watch out for some critters. I don't know. is one thing, but if it's something with teeth like a cougar or a Sasquatch or something, I don't know. On the other hand, maybe you can offer them an amaretto or a schnapps. They might enjoy that. Lee, your trimmer, yeah, I need to update my stuff as well. Everything I have is it requires an extension cord. Consequently, I don't do work around the yard as often as I ought to. But everything works, and it works well. It's just kind of on the tired side. Reset. Dick, good news from your pulmonologist. That's encouraging to hear. I don't know, none of my doctors have said anything all that favorable about me. And glad that the move for your mom went smoothly. I don't know, the karaoke, if that's a little bit unusual for her, maybe dementia is setting in a little bit or something. That kind of happened to my mom. She went to a place where it was before she got married, obviously before she had me, so she didn't know who I was. She thought I was someone else, and interesting though, she remembered my wife's name, but I'm not sure, maybe she thought my wife was her daughter or something. Well, no, because she went back to her youth, actually, and I don't know. Just keep an eye on your mother. It's I think when someone changes locations like that, they act a little bit unusual for several weeks until they get more acclimated. I hope it all goes smoothly. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
7QO, let's go to James, WU7N in Bellevue.
Well, thank you, Dave. I'm going to try Echo Link tonight. Let's say, Ron, I was curious to know if you did a home test or if you did a lab PCR test for your last COVID test. Maybe you could tell me. Let's see, Jessica, yes, alcohol candy. Okay, I had a neighbor give me these little chocolates. I think it was Christmas before last, filled with chocolate liqueur. And oh my goodness, those should be on the controlled substance list. I mean, before you knew it, you were just laying there with a big pile of wrappers all around you. You just don't know what's happened. It's an amazing experience. I hinted strongly that I think your Christmas gift like that would always be welcome. And Lee, your yard work, okay, I'm going to call this Yard Shear Madness. $300 for a pair of shears. But you're probably getting your money's worth. I had a Swiss consultant tell me once, you should spend your money where you spend your time. And I looked at him really seriously and said, even if it's illegal? And he just froze for a minute. He didn't quite know how to respond. And I said, no, I'm joking. I'm kidding. I'm joking. He said, that was a joke. And he goes, oh, of course that was a joke. You joke.
I'm going to go ahead and disconnect. 7N disconnected. The other thing I was going to say was, Richard, I glassed you got your mom's total. That's always tough. I had the elder thing for 3 years, and that's difficult, but if she's singing, that's good. And when you are a home improvement animal, I've had the same sockets. I'm going to get to it, really, I am. You're now an inspiration to me. You did 5 in one day. I should be able to get one done in 2 months. Let's see. Excellent 1.2 GHz signal
coming in tonight. I don't know why, but I think my power level on this transceiver out is right under a watt, so I'm not sure what's going on tonight. Everything's working, nobody thinks it. Jim Covington, well, not only Mom, but all of us often think you are someone else, but that's probably a completely different issue. Anyway, this is James WW7ATS in Bellevue, Washington. That's Northeast Bellevue, with all the radios working really well tonight, so we'll turn it back to our net control. WW7ATS.
And this is KD7ZYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Now that ID's out of the way, quite a group we have this evening. As for me, I did yard work today. It took me about 3 hours to mow the property, so to speak, and I found out I'm kind of out of shape, but I did take a little half-hour break about halfway through the event, so that did seem to help. But then when I got done, I got something to eat, and I sat down. I was going to watch news on television. The next thing I knew, it was an hour and a half later. The news was over. But anyway, I'm well rested and here with me going tonight. And for Ron with a cold, oh my, I hope he gets well. And Jessica with the yurk, I guess we can refer to her as Pioneer Lady. So that goes good. And the old saying is, candy's dandy, but liquor's quicker. So I think those sweet drinks are a wonderful thing. It kind of combines both at the same time. And Lee, oh man, electric shears. Well, I bought a weed whacker a couple of years ago with a lithium battery, and oh my gosh, that thing just goes and goes and goes. And so that really helps with not bending over and taking care of the little hunks of grass that always seem to want to come along the fence line that the mower can't get to. So that's kind of interesting. And for Richard, oh, mom care. Boy, that's pretty good. And for Richard, oh, he's going to be 80 plus, it sounds like. So anyway, maybe it'll be dad care in another 15 years. But anyway, I'm wishing that he has success with that. And for Wade, power strips, power outlets, going in all of his outlets. I used to go to the hardware store on the weekends, and the people there referred to me as a weekend warrior. Always buying parts and things to improve the house. And Jim, hope you're in good health at this point. And James, sounds like you're recuperating well at home. I imagine you haven't got up to doing the jump rope exercises yet, but we wish you well with that. So this is Dave, KD7ZYM, all mowed out. So let's move up to the top of the list to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave. This is Ron, KD7QKU again. Well, Dave just touched on all the things that I had down here in my notes. The only thing he didn't touch on, I was going to ask Wade if the cat showed up, but he hasn't said anything. He's shaking his head, no, I guess no cat. Well, that's too bad. And let's see, James asked me about the test. Yes, it was home tests, both of them. I taken them at home, and both of them tested negative. It was one box, and it had 5 tests inside. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not. It has a little swab, and then you stick the little swab in this little tube and swish it around, and then you put this lid on it, turn it upside down, and squeeze it 3 drops onto the little thing, and then you wait for the bars to show up. But anyway, it was negative. And Richard, I'm glad your mom is, looks like it's going to work out for her. That's a pretty nice place over there. And I was wondering how your lawn's doing, if you've had to mow it yet. You're probably needing to mow it pretty soon, or you're having it mowed. And Lee, on your trimmer, are the blades replaceable? Can you get new blades if they get dull. So I'm assuming that, you know, that's something you use close to the ground or around things. And I used to have, you know, when those electric etchers, I can't remember who it was made by, but we were always getting it in the dirt, you know, getting dirt kind of in the blades because you'd cut too close and it would dull the blades. And I'm just wondering if the blades are replaceable. And I have some Ryobi stuff, and man, it's really good. I have a head trimmer, and I got it when I was in Bellevue, and it would last longer in the batteries would than I would. I would tuck her out before the batteries would quit. And then I bought the littlest, lightest, smallest weed eater they had. And unbelievable. It's unbelievable what it'll do. I'm telling you. I had a steel, and I gave it away, a gas one, because it was, this little one is just fantastic. So anyway, let's see. I guess that's about it. Oh, Jessica, I think you should put your pictures of the yurt on behind you there again, because I don't think the rest of the people saw them. We saw them before the net, and they probably like to see them. So, and Richard, yeah, I'm also glad that you got a good report from the pulmonologist. Yeah, that's good. So anyway, I guess back to net, KD7QKU. Oh, let me drop it. I will make one more comment before I forget. Maybe you've heard me talk about my son and his boat. You know, he bought this really nice boat, and it's 20 years old, but has a, you know, Chrysler little V6 engine inboard in it, and the oil pan had rusted through. You know, it's close to the bottom of the boat, and you get some water in the bilge. Well, anyway, the pan had rusted out, so it started leaking oil. So in order to change the oil pan, he had to take the motor out. He had to take the outdrive off and the motor out. Well, he did that, and he got a new pan, got it all back together, got it in the boat, and then he started it, I think it was yesterday. And he said he started it up and had it hooked to the hose. It's fresh water cooled, and he ran it for about 15 minutes, and the temperature came up to normal, and everything was looking good, he thought, and then the oil started running down between the bell housing and the back of the pan. He thinks it's the rear main seal is leaking. So that means the motor comes out of the boat again, and turn it upside down and take that cap off the main and try to get that seal in there. So he was not a happy camper, as you understand. He didn't want to work on the boat in the first place. He wanted to be out fishing or cruising in it. So now this is the second time. So he was, you know, you got to do what you got to do, but he was not happy. All right, back to that KD7QKU.
QKU. Let's go to Pioneer Woman, Jessica, KF7UHK.
Pioneer Woman, because I have electric steel, electric chainsaw. That one that I probably talked about, I went and had it sharpened. It's like a 24-inch bar on it or something. It's very large, but it's electric, and I plug it into an electric cable. So I don't trust batteries. Batteries seem to always wear out before I'm ready for them to wear out. So I just have a long extension cord, and it really slices. It slices good, let me tell you. Especially after I had it sharpened. Wow, it's really nice, and it was very inexpensive to have it sharpened too. It's like, you know, like $4 or $5, and the Ace Hardware, you know, did me very nice on that. Karaoke, I gotta talk about karaoke now. I'm not a karaoke person. However, somewhere I inherited a karaoke machine, and for Christmas time at work, I would bring this thing in, and I would do karaoke, and I'd do Karen Carpenter Christmas songs. If you can imagine me doing Karen Carpenter, and it was fun, and I like her songs anyhow, and I can do a pretty good Karen Carpenter in my voice. So it was pretty good, and I always had an audience come and hear me. And then we always had a manager who would come up and do Elvis Presley's Blue Christmas, and he did a really great job too. And it was fun to see. And last there, and so we're going to go scatter down to Baker City, Oregon, to go hang out for a couple days and try to sell some pictures and look at Baker City and just have a nice little weekend. So it'll be a long drive, but I've done that before, that kind of thing. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm going to pass it back to KF7 UHK.
KF7 UHK, thanks for that. And it's ID time again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's go to Lee, N7KC.
Okay, Lee, N7KC in Port Angeles, and hi to Jim in Covington. Jessica, going to Oregon this weekend, just borrow the bus. You know, just take the bus. Yeah, and you know, and don't pay attention to the blue lights. They don't mean anything. Just take the bus. And Ron, yeah, it does have a replaceable shear on it, but you can't replace the individual blades. You'd have to replace the whole assembly. But it doesn't look like it's horribly expensive, but then I don't know. On Ryobi, I got tired. I'm kind of like Jim. I got tired. I had electric stuff, and I got tired of stringing the cord. It was just, it worked fine. Everything was cool, but it was just always a nuisance. I had a 100-foot. In fact, it's a heavy cord. It was a 16 gauge that I got so that I could, you know, get some performance out of the mower. It's 100 feet away, and so I went to a Ryobi mower. And it's the big one with the 3-phase brushless motor, which they said had the performance of a gas mower. And boy, you can believe it. Holy smokes. Impressive. And on one battery, I can do our whole yard here. It just makes it. And then, that worked so well, I decided that I would get a weed whacker, so I got a Ryobi one. And this time I got the dual string, sort of the one that the pros would use, and it's just great, except it's awful heavy. Oh my gosh, you know, I get really tired of looking it around, but it's really quite nice. And the cool thing about it is, when you want to replace the string, you just cut 10 feet of it, you slide it through to the middle, and you use a crank to crank it up. It's really easy to reload the string. Quite nice. So it's high performance, and the shears are nice. They make a point that it's only for grass, don't get it in the ground or in metal. And by golly, it cuts the finest grass, you know. It doesn't munch or anything. I mean, it clips it. It's really nice. I'm about out of time. I wanted to mention to James that when you switched off of Echo Link, you went to the repeater without Echo Link. So I lost the rest of what you were saying. So there was a question about which repeater you were on. I don't know too much about it. Yeah, Ron, I haven't had a cold in at least 2 years, and it's been so nice that I'm going to continue to wear my mask, COVID or not, when I'm in someplace, because, boy, I can go a long time, frankly, without a cold and be very happy about it. And, yeah, the Europe trip was really nice, very cool. And Richard, what a nice report you got. Yeah, I went down. I had to get my prescriptions. I don't want to time it out. Let me just come back. I don't know whether I reset it or not. But anyway, my prescriptions were up, and I had to go to the doctor and get them renewed, because they won't do it over the phone or anything. You have to actually go in and see them. So I did that, and I get a new doctor every 6 months. They're a little short on family doctors over here, so they move them in for 6 months, and then they go on someplace else and so forth. But anyway, she's from Olympia. Well, I didn't know it, but she ordered a whole blood panel on me, and so I got that done. And by golly, I was in the normal and everything. I couldn't believe it. You know, what luck. So things are going pretty pretty well here, and I forgot to start my timer. Oh, my great-grandmother lived to be 103. The last 20 years that she was alive, she was in a care facility, and her mind was shot. But it worked out pretty good because she thought she worked there, you know. She thought she worked there. So that really, it improved her lot substantially. And it was that way for 20 years. She just told everybody she worked there and all that. So anyway, I don't have anything else. Back to you, David. 7KC Lee at Fort Angeles.
Let's go on to Richard, K7ITX.
Great. Well, let's see here. Lee, thanks for the info on Ryobi. I was just at, Home Depot, and, you know, and lawn, it's funny that you mentioned our new lawn. It's tremendous now. In fact, we're supposed to get our first real lawn cutting by the end of this week, so maybe he'll do it tomorrow or Friday, whatever. But that was part of the deal, is that as soon as it was really nice and out of control, he would do the first real lawn cutting. But now we're in the market for a new lawnmower, and so it just so happens for $299 at Home Depot, a 40-volt HP Ryobi brushless 20-inch. So basically $300. So I don't know if that's in the same league that you were referring to, Lee. I'm not sure how 40 volts translates into anything. 20 inches sounds reasonably adequate, and $300 for an electric, if it can cut everything, and you know, I guess once every 5 days, and have a lot of power, I'll be happy. So I kind of be curious what anybody thinks of Ryobi 40 volt power pushmower 20-inch. So with that, might as well throw in a couple other topics. Yeah, what about on the boat, Ron? I had a boat, and that's precisely why I don't have a boat now, because it was just going to be, instead of putting money into the boat, I put money into the trailer. Now I need to get rid of that, because my lung capacity, or my lungs are 70% of what they should be, so that was the whole reason for the pulmonologist. And so I'm going to be counting on her to help see me through my trials and tribulations. Let's see, and car racing. I just got met with the team today, and we have the Porsche 944 up and running, ready to go, and the engine for the Datsun 510 just shipped from California today. We expect to see it probably on Monday, and the first race is this weekend in Shelton. It looks like it's going to be rainy-ish rainish on Friday, so I don't know, I'm on pins and needles because I really want everything to go well. With that, K7ITX, back to net control.
7ITX. Thanks for that. Let's go to Wade, Tacoma, W7ITL.
Well, you guys just go ahead and skip over me. I'm working on something that I'll hopefully be...
No problem at all. Let's go on to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
Thank you, Dave. Well, let's see. Dick, talking about racing, wondering if you enjoyed the races that were on television this Memorial Day weekend. Indy, that fellow from Switzerland or Sweden won. Let's see here. I printed off something from the internet. I do not see a date on here. Why does it not have a date on here? Anyway, I thought this was interesting. Some of you may think so as well. A team of engineers and programmers set a new autonomous land speed record at Kennedy Space Center, reaching a speed of 192.2 miles per hour. That is a team from, it says, Italy and the University of Alabama. That's a self-driving car. Holy cow. I don't know. I don't want to see one of those on the streets of Seattle, but, man, I was kind of thinking that, eventually, when I'm, a little bit older and, maybe less capable of driving myself, some autonomous vehicle might help me out, you know, just jump in, Siri, take me to Costco or something, and, boy, I hope no one had their phone listening to that. Anyway, but, this progress is being made, and we're not hearing about a lot of this stuff. I just think some of this is really cool. And, oh, by the way, I happen to notice here at my house, it is 66 degrees outside right now. Kind of like the weather, but they say it's supposed to get a little more chilly in the next couple of days. Back to you, Dave, M7QO.
QO, let's go to James, WU7N.
To see if Lee can hear me this time. Can you hear me? Yeah, I gotta get my memory changed on that. A question I have for Lee, you might know, I thought the reasoning they were going to higher and higher voltages in the power tools was it seems to me you could use a smaller diameter wire than you could with lower voltages. And but maybe there's other good reasons for that. I don't know. That's a pure speculative guess on my part. That's funny. A self-driving car that goes 192 miles an hour. Okay, this sounds like some kind of horse race here because now you're going to have self-driving police cars to chase after the self-driving cars. And pro tip, I would not want to be the checkered flag guy standing out on the track waving the checkered flag as the self-driving car goes by at 192 miles an hour. I think that's somebody else's job. Kind of like explosive ordnance disposal. The first rule is let someone else do it. Let's see, the bus report. We haven't gotten a bus report from Jessica. Are you actually driving now, like real people around, or what's going on with that? Maybe I'm so out of date on that, I don't know what's going on. Don't forget, you have to keep the governor happy. $300 means $330 in King County. That's a little code thing there with the tax. That always surprises me. I've not been in a place with 10 and almost 11% sales tax. Let's see, the other thing I was thinking about is, Jessica, come on, you say you don't do karaoke, but you happen to inherit a karaoke machine. That's very suspicious. I think you do karaoke, come on. It's okay. Let's see, on the replacement blades, I know on Makita, they do offer financing. They have counselors standing by, so you can always get replacement blades for Makita equipment. I'm not sure about the one you got. But on that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back to net control and leave it at that. I'm kind of surprised my signal's coming through so well tonight on the Cougar Mountain repeater, so we appreciate your report on that. So Dave, take it away, KD7ZYM. This is Whiskey Uniform 7 November.
Well, I'm thinking of a self-driving car. You could say it's a sonic missile. It could probably have more over in Ukraine against the Russians, and it could get by because it's really fast and moves. So that's kind of interesting. And then it doesn't have anybody inside it, so I mean, it becomes a safety weapon. So that's a good thing. And let's see, temperature-wise here, I've got 65 degrees, and it's slightly overcast, and later this afternoon it did a little drizzle here in Lake City, so that was kind of a bummer. And I guess that's about it, so I'm going to take it back to Ron, KD7QKU.
This is Ron again, KD7QKU. Well, Richard, I have a question for you. I watched the, Indianapolis 500. And Dixon, he led for 75 laps. And he was in the lead, he looked like a shoe-in to win. And then, I don't know if I went to the bathroom or went out to eat or did something. And I came back and he's not even in the field. So, what did he do? So, he must have done something. Maybe you can tell me what happened. I'd appreciate that. And talking about electricity, I don't know if anybody read some of these stories, but they have decided now that they can, there's wind and there's water and there's all this other stuff. Well, they're going to use big weights. So they're going to have a weight, and the weight will come down very slowly, and it'll turn the gears. That'll turn the generator. That'll produce electricity. And they're going to be gigantic, and they're going to put them in places where, like quarries or someplace where they have holes in the ground. And they're going to use, they're experimenting with a lot of substances. So maybe they'll use like water. So they'll have a big container, and it's going to be up in the air 100 feet or something, and it'll come down really slow. Maybe even it'll come down 1,000 feet. I don't know. They were talking about putting them in some mine shafts and everything else. And so, anyway, the weight will descend, very slowly. And the one that they're experimenting with right now, I think it'll produce enough electricity to do 10 or 15,000 homes. So anyway, I forget what they call it, producing electricity that way. So anyway, the weight will come down, and then of course the weight will have to go back up. And if it's fluid in there, well, they'll pump the fluid out, and then they'll raise the thing back up, and they'll put the fluid back in it. So that's the new deal now. It's they have these big weights that descend very slowly and then generate electricity. So that's my contribution for the evening. Back to NAP KD7QKU.
QKU. Well, it sounds like a hydro project, like our hydro dams. Let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK.
Something out of popular science, popular futuristic or something. No, I can see them use it for stored energy. During the daytime it pumps them up to the top, and at nighttime those things would come down and keep on pumping out power. But here's my bus report. Today we did first aid class, an all-day class. It was everything from CPR to what to do if you find someone who's impaled with something or things sticking out of people's eyes. They had all sorts of these videos that were all acted out, but they were well done, and some of them were really gory. In my younger days, I would have fainted over dead by some of these videos they were showing. And the trainer likes to just get us going just before they show us the awful things. But I'm not driving anybody yet. I still don't have a CDL license. At the end of the month is about when he has us signed up to go take the test. But the part of the buses is that 2 cents for every $10 you spend up in Skagit County goes to the bus system. So if you want to know where that money comes from, it's from your taxes, but it's only 2 cents per $10, so it's only 20 cents per $100. But it's only $1 to ride the bus, and only $2 if you go all the way from Everett to Mount Vernon, and from Mount Vernon to Bellingham it's only $2. It's a really great deal. So it's very much subsidized by government and things that people vote for. But tomorrow we'll probably be doing some more offset this little test, and the cones are way down there while you're way up here. So you have to make sure you place your bus in the correct place. We'll also be doing 90-degree backing and turning into cones, which is also it's kind of a trick. And whenever I ace it, I like to say I've been practicing at home, and the boss always laughs at that. Let's see, we have been practicing on the Cedro-Woolley route, which is the 300 route, which is go up to Cedro-Woolley, go around some blocks that are very tight corners, to these 90-degree turns, which are very important to the bus. And you look out for other people so you don't get in their way. You let other people get by you. If you can't get in there, you just sit back and let them go first. That's it from there. And then real quickly, someone was saying they're watching races on the weekend. I didn't watch any races, but I did watch some PBR. That's professional bull riding, and that's fun to watch. All you got to do is stay on those bulls for 8 seconds, and it's a rough 8 seconds. One guy got trampled pretty hard, and he went out with his wind knocked out of him because the thing came down on his chest, and it looked like something. It looked like it would kill you. And then one more thing, and that's 40 volts. I still don't know why anybody would want to have something 40 volts. 12 volts, I can figure out how to make it, but 40, I can't. KF7 JHK.
UHK, let's go to Lee, M7KC in Port Angeles.
Okay, there, I got the sign that I could hit the button in 7KC Lee in Port Angeles. Well, the reason for 40 volts is motor performance. Power is a product of current times voltage, and the higher the voltage for given power, you can operate with less current, and that means that you can have enough wire in a small size motor to give you the performance that you're looking for. So that's really why they go up, is basically motor performance. And these motors are three-phase brushless, so they're high-performance motors. And it's really interesting, you're going along mowing and you come to some tough grass, and it's like it has a governor on it. You hear it all of a sudden, it just lays into it, but good. And it's just outrageous. It's just, the performance is just beautiful. It mows right up to the edge of the, it's got a 20-inch blade on it. I overlap about 3/4, I'll go right up the edge. And so I overlap a little bit, but it's really, really a nice mower. And let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh yes, Ron, on the falling weights. Well, that's my Ridgeway clock. I have a 2-second period Ridgeway pendulum. It's a big grandfather, and it's got 3 weights on it. It's got the chimes, and then it has the hammer out the time, and then it has the weight that actually runs the clock mechanism. And I measured the amount of fall when I first got the clock, the amount of fall on the one that runs the clock, and I weighed it. It's heavy, and it turns out that every swing of the pendulum, it takes 1 second to go across. Every swing of the pendulum, it consumes 32 microwatts. And it runs for a week, so I wind it on Thursday morning, and it runs for a week and so forth. So it's the same idea, but nothing's free. You get that weight back up in the air, you have to expend the same energy that went down, getting it back up. So that's a tough problem. Anyway, that's enough from here in 7KC, Dave, back to you.
7KC, let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Lee, thank you very much for Electricity 101 on our Ryobi 40-volt lawnmowers. Better get it right away. Debbie will be really happy. She's the one that does the backyard, which is the hardest. Now with my compromised air breathing abilities. I've got all kinds of excuses now to get out of all sorts of honeydew things. So I guess, I don't know, I'm smiling, but not always smiling. There's a lot of crying that goes along with this as well. But I might as well take advantage of the good parts, and that would be getting this lawnmower and making the YL happy, and she's pretty happy about the front yard now. So far I'm making progress, and sadly now she's the one that's bringing home the bacon, and I'm the one that's hanging out at home all day or running around shopping and doing all that kind of stuff. She was, I think I tried to, talk to her about don't let these people take advantage of you, and it didn't go over real well, as far as, don't you think I know what I'm doing? Kind of response, and I had to kind of clear things up that, yes, I do know what you're doing. However, I just want you to know that people will take advantage of me and have, and I'm trying to keep the same thing from happening to you, or it will. So anyway, gee whiz, it's getting right down to the wire here, so I'll say 73 to everybody and pass it right along. K7ATS, back to net control.
Yeah, this is Waves with WW7ATS.
Alright, well, I'm back, WW7ATS here, so I wasn't listening for about half of that, so I didn't take a lot of notes, but I've been meaning to get back to Lee about his expensive shears. Talking about things that are expensive, when I was trying to get some of these electrical projects done in the house, one of the things I invested in is a lineman's pliers, because I did not have any good pliers for doing wire wrapping, twisting the wires together. As I've been replacing the outlets, I've been pigtailing all the wires, anything over 2, so that there's not too much load going through that receptacle, and just having the single pair of wire going into the receptacle. And those lineman things are about $65. They're not cheap, but they're supposed to last a long time, and they open real easy. Let's see, Richard, sounds like you might have some pulmonary things that are going wrong or that you're dealing with, but it sounds like your pulmonary doctor is giving you a good health for long life until your 80s, which hopefully that's the case, and I wish you good luck on that. And sounds like maybe you got out of a few things because of being winded, so I didn't know if you got a new lawnmower so that your wife can do the lawn, or if that was just something else. So, and Ron, like I said earlier, good luck on your speedy recovery, and that's it for this round. This is the end of the road here. This is 57 India Tango Lima, back to net.
And the net has concluded here. This is Dave, KD7CYM. We want to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR repeater 147.08 for our voice transmissions during our nets. And this coming Saturday morning, we have a business meeting coming up for the group for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. It's hard to believe another month has gone by already. It certainly goes fast. So with that, I'm signing off. This is Dave, KD7CYM, on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Good evening all at 9 o'clock.